If everything is filmed on the green screen, then why is the budget of the movie so high in Hollywood? Kanthaswamy Balasubramaniam. The green screen is just what is called a blanker out. The CGI will ignore anything in that shade of green, and will capture the rest of what is in front of it. After a capture you get literally an empty background and the guy in front of the camera, and you can create any background you want. This is the expensive part. Creating the background. A template background of a destroyed New York City in Avengers required 6,200 specific aspects and cost $3.75 million just for that one single scene. That's roughly 24 crore rupees for one single scene of say 1 minute. The above scene in Hobbit required 13,700 aspects to create the images of mountains, and this scene alone cost around $6.80 million. In India, the capture technology is mostly Korean and much inferior to the US version. For instance, the scene above only required 220 aspects, and if you focus, though there are many trees, you will notice they are all copies of one or two fixed designs. The CGI looks okayish and cost only $200,000, or around 1.5 rupees crore maximum. CGI in Hollywood is very expensive because the technology is more specific and has a very strong aspect ratio and very high aspects, meaning that the CGI tries to ensure every single created object is as realistic as possible. Even so, the horse in the above CGI was criticized. This single scene above cost around $4.5 million, yet the horse looks a bit unrealistic. James Cameron uses a more expensive CGI technology, which has a far higher quality of aspects, realism, but which is even more expensive. You had scenes in Avatar which cost around $14 million as early as in 2009. CGI in Bollywood is cheaper because the technology is much inferior. The technology used is non-patented, general CGI technology by either Koreans or Indians. The aspects are between 6% to 10% of what you can see in Hollywood films. All horses look identical and very rustic. Tigers are totally artificial. Life of Pi tiger cost $1.17 million to create and move across the program for a single scene. The tiger in Mohanlal's movie in Kerala cost $93,000. Soldiers will all look the same in the battle, or will look like clones of 2-3 original people. Elephants will look entirely off the background as if it was a sticker rather than a part of the scene. CGI for TV shows in US are cheaper. Game of Thrones uses a good CGI technology, but nothing compared to movies. Same with other shows. So in the end, it's the technology and the effort. For a Marvel's Avengers type of movie, you require between 2,200 to 3,700 hours of between 180 to 400 technicians and assistants in action to patented high-aspect motion capture and screen capture technologies. The budget will run to between 60% to 80% of the movie's entire budget, which is why most of the cast get paid on a percentage basis. It could run you between $120 to $140 million, which would come to around 1,100 crores for CGI alone. 122.1K views. View 3,371 upvotes.